Hey everybody, I'm back. I am going to take the next few steps in my DBT learning experience here. Um, as you can see, I'm signed into DBT Learn, and I thought that I would record the next few steps I'm going to take here as I work through this. This is a raw and unedited video. I have no plans whatsoever to refine this or make it any better. I may occasionally pause the video if there's something I need to figure out or if there's something that's taking a long time. But other than the occasional pause and restart, what you see is what you get. All right. So here I am. I'm on DBT Learn. I'm still on milestone 1. I did all these things. I'm going to go back down into Introduction to SQL and hit Continue. And recall that we went into DBT and BigQuery. That was what we set up in the last video. And when you do that, if I'm patient here, this is still loading up. See the little spinning icon up there. We're going to see a series of steps here on the left. Just wait and be patient. There they are. So we did, I think we did steps 1 through 7 already. So if I hit next here, you can see I'm down into step 2, 3. We did this with Akash. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And here I am. I'm going to go into the DBT Labs Studio IDE. So to do that, I am going to go to this URL, cloud.getdbt.com, right? I'm going to go there. And I'm already signed in, I think. So let's see what happens there. It took me a minute to get connected, but here I am signed back in again, and I have the data. So I meant this is cloud. This is cloud.getdbt.com, and there's the studio icon on the left. And I'm not sure why it seems to be running slow today. Obviously, the very moment I decide to record a video, everything slows down. All right, so I have something that looks like this. I have a variety of tabs down here across the bottom, commands and lineage and so on. Let's see what the instructions say. So it says here, start developing in the Studio IDE, might take a few minutes. We initialize the project. You can now directly query data from your, so I believe we did 1, 2, and 3 with Akash. So we're going to type a query into the window there and execute dbt run. So I do have a copy option here, and that's what I copied into this, this tab up here. So if I didn't have that, so I'm going to close this. I could create a new file, right? I could do that and put that in there with a Control V, and then the trick here is that it might not be obvious. I'm going to save that as well. So I'm going to do a Control S, and it wants to know what to call it. And I think I called my first one Schaefer test.sql. I'm going to create another one, Schaefer test 2, and OK. So there's Schaefer test 2 appeared over here. And he said, well, how do I run that? How do I run that? So the trick here is to go down to the bottom here. This is where we type our commands. And it's going to be dbt run and enter. And it's going to wait for that. And it says it did it. I can see it kind of spinning around there. And it's running. And what this is doing, of course, it's reaching out to Google BigQuery, getting some data. It tells me that the run succeeded. And I would hope that I'd be able to look at the results here. Oh, there's nothing there. Maybe I need to wait another minute. Let's try again. Back to commands, results. Really? No commands? It says it did it. Ah, it looks like I need to do dbt run dbt build select Schaefer test 2. Let me try that. Dbt run dbt build -- select Schaefer test 2. That's the file I just created, and enter. It says it's running. It says it succeeded. I wonder if I see the results now. Nope. Nope. I wonder where the results are. That's really weird. I'm going to hit refresh just for fun. Okay, I'm going to pause while that's refreshing. Okay, it looks to me like I need to click over here in the preview grid to see my preview as opposed to results. So I'm seeing some data there. Let's, I'm going to test that. I'm going to say first underscore name, because that's all I see here. Okay. And I'm going to go to my commands. And then I'm going to save this with a Control S. Great. And I'm going to rerun that command over here with enter. And it says it's running. And it says it ran. And if I were to look at my preview grid, what do I see? Just first name. Okay, so I obviously I am learning along with all of you. I kind of expected results to hold my results, but maybe there's something I don't yet understand here. So I'm going to go back to commands, and I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to see what we have next. So we're going to build our first model. You have two options for working with files in the Studio IDE. Create a new branch, to edit and commit your changes. So create a new branch under version control and edit in the protected primary branch if you prefer to edit format or lint. Lint is looking for syntax errors, and execute DB commands directly in your primary branch. The Studio IDE prevents commits to the protected branch so that you will be prompted to commit your changes to a new branch. Okay, so we're going to make, it sounds like they're pushing us hard to create a new branch. So right around here is where I think I should say something about what does all this branching stuff mean. And that will be obvious to some of my students, and it won't be obvious to to another set of my students. And if you've never heard that term before, or you're not quite sure what it means, you shouldn't feel bad, because you got to learn it sometime. So the idea here is that a branch is a working copy of something. So it's a copy that you're allowed to mess around with, change, improve, or break. And if you are able to actually make the working copy better, then you have the task of merging your changes back into the main branch. Okay, so you branch off, do your work, and then you commit your changes back into the main branch. That's the general idea. And you can see how that would be helpful in a large organization where you have multiple people working on the same project or the same kind of task, and you want to manage their work, and you want everyone to be able to work without um, everyone stepping all over everybody else's changes. I hope that makes sense. That's my super quick introduction to the notion of branching and version control. So it says here that we should be able to navigate to version control on the left sidebar and create a branch. Okay, sounds good to me. I'm over here in my Cloud Studio. I'm over here in version control, and it looks like we want to commit to a new branch. I'm guessing that's the thing I want to do. And no, I guess it's trying to commit the changes I already made. Changes. So that's going to bring in probably these things that I created. Oh, here we go. So here's my create branch. And I get my new branch. And it says, I just did a quick tab here. It says name the new branch, add customers model. Okay, well, let's do that then. So add customers model. Okay, and submit. Very nice. Okay, and I'm just kind of looking around here on the left to see what we have here. I guess I have a copy of that now, and I'm going to be able to make some changes. Let's see what the instructions tell me to do. So we're going to make a new file. I know how to do that. And we're going to name the file customers.sql. And it's going to tell us that we can do some SQL here. So what we have here is the creation of, looks to me like we're creating 1, 2, 3, 4 virtual tables, because these are basically aliases for these other tables that we're selecting from the DBT tutorial Jaffle shop. Let's see if this works. I'm curious to see how this goes, because I'm just, if I go back one, so we had the DBT tutorial Jaffle shop customers. That's what we had before. That exists out on DBT Cloud, or, I'm sorry, Google BigQuery. And this is going to create customers as a sort of alias background to that cloud hosted, Google hosted data source. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to make a, so we're going to create a new model. It looks like, click the three dots, the ellipsis next to the models directory. Okay, moving that over to my other screen. Models. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. I'm looking for the three dots. I don't see three dots. Hmm. I wonder what they mean by, these words. Click the dot 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 next to the models directory, then create a file. Well, I do see that I could go into models, and then there's this, create a new file. Maybe that's what they mean. And I'm going to do a save as. Oh, it looks to be like that's going to go into here. And it told me to call it add, that's the branch name, customers.sql. So I think I'm going to put that right here in models. And I'm going to call it customers.sql. Okay. And okay. And there, I've got that down there. And now I should get that text that they gave me. And I'm going to put it into the file. Very nice. And I'm going to hit save. And then what? Enter dbt run in the command prompt at the bottom of the screen. You should get a successful run and see the three models. Later, you can connect your business intelligence tools to these views and tables so they only read the cleaned up data rather than the raw data in your BI tool. Okay, so all right, so now with this in front of me, I'm going to close out of that other one. I've got the one file, and I'm going to say dbt run and enter. And I'm going to see what happens then. It says it's completed. That sounds very encouraging. What I don't understand here is where. Where am I supposed to see? It says you should see the three models. I wonder where they are. Because they don't appear under models. So are they here? Oh, okay. Well, it says, oh, update the graph. I'm going to maximize that. Right. I see customers. Okay. Preview. Hmm. Hmm. I wonder where I'm supposed to see those. It says later, you should get a successful run. Let's see, FAQs. I'm looking over here. How can I see the SQL that dbt is running? How did dbt choose which schema to build my model in? Do I need to create my target schema before running dbt? If I rerun dbt, there be any downtime as the models are rebuilt? What happens if this SQL in my query is bad or I get a database error? None of which answer my question of you should get us and see the three models. I wonder where I'm supposed to see the three models. I don't know. I'm going to pause this and try to figure out. I just noticed that there's a preview icon that has appeared here inside of my script. So maybe aha. Okay, so there's the models. So customer orders should have the customer ID, the first order date, the most recent order date, and so on. Yay! So I do see them. So the instructions did not lie. Would have been nice if I'd had a little bit more clarity there, but that's okay. Now, so next, change the way your data is materialized. Now, before I'm sorry, change the way your model is materialized. Before I say anything else, I just want to say that personally, I find it a little frustrating that all of this is under the SQL Foundations portion of the learning path. To my way of thinking, what we're doing has very little to do with SQL and has a lot to do with version control and setup. So if you're feeling frustrated, there's a reason for that. I think there's a little bit of a disconnect here, if I could be so bold as to say it, because none of this has a whole lot to do with SQL. Okay. You know what? So uh, my kids are home from school, and I think that I am needed downstairs right now. So I'm going to pause on this video, call it a day, and I'm going to come back to change the way your model is materialized at my next opportunity. See you soon.